What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you guys are new here, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. It does go a long way to help me grow this channel. If you guys are returning, thank you for returning. In today's video, we're going to be doing some Instacart tips that I have for you guys, similar to my DoorDash tips video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link that up there in the top corner. Go check that out for sure. But without further ado, let's hop right into the video. My first tip for you guys that are just starting out with Instacart is set a standard for the batches that you're going to accept. For me, my standard is for anything under 35 items. I like to do 30, but 35 I'll be a little bit lenient with. Between $25 and $35 a pay, and then nothing super crazy far on distance. For me, I like to stay around 10 miles, nothing over that. Like I said, I'd be a little lenient. If it's like 12 miles, I'd probably do it. It just depends on a lot of different things, if I'm getting a lot of orders from other apps or what have you. But that's my first tip for you guys. The second tip that I have is familiarize with a few stores in your area, the stores that you're going to be mainly shopping at. For me, I have a Price Chopper, a Hy-Vee, and then a Sprouts. I don't know, it's different everywhere because everyone has different grocery stores, but I know those three and they're all in my town, and I know where most of the stuff is by category. Now, if you like, I don't know exactly what item it is, but you know, I know where the dairy section is, I know where the bakery is and stuff like that. So that really speeds up the process when you're in the store, and that is a huge tip that I have for you guys. So tip number 3 for you guys is communicate with the customers clearly. This is kind of an obvious tip, and it just goes a long way with keeping your tips. I know they've displayed the tips before, but they can take those away. Now this does go a long way with keeping that, and just keeping your ratings up. It's kind of obvious, guys, but just be communicating with them clearly and respectfully. Tip number 4, for those of you guys that are just starting out, I would stick to one full service orders. When you get into multiple service orders, it gets complicated because you got to keep each order separate, and you got to remember who to give who, and it's just kind of, I definitely wouldn't do it my first batch. I would stick to a number one of a one full service order. It'll help you save time because you don't have to communicate with 2 different customers, and it'll save you some stress and make your experience overall better. So I would stick to one full service orders when starting out. Tip number 5 for you guys, make sure you're in a location where you are getting batches. So make sure you're not sitting, if you're sitting in your house, make sure you're getting batches from the stores that you are familiar with and the stores that you are wanting to go shop at, because you could be just outside of the zone and not be getting any batches sent to you from these stores. Like, for example, I'd once dropped off a Instacart, and it took me into the city, and I'm out of the city, so it took me into the city, and then when I completed, I turned back on Instacart, and it's completely different stores. Now, some of you guys may think this is an obvious thing, but if you're sitting at home and your area is just outside of wherever they send, because it's not super clear, but basically there's a radius from the store, but if you're outside of that, you're not going to be seeing any orders. So that's just something to be aware of when starting out. Tip number 6 that I have for you is watch the batch screen. When I was first starting out, I would get a bunch of notifications, and I would see these batches that aren't really worth my time. And then I started talking to Jimbo. We did that interview with Jimbo. Jimbo made me realize that, you know, you got to be watching the batch screen, guys, because those good orders that are in your criteria, they just go like that, you know. And I would complain. I'd be like, I just don't get those orders, you know. I just don't see those high payouts, low item orders. And it was because they go fast. They happen. They're usually on people that give good tips, but they definitely happen. And if you're one of those people like me that you thought there just wasn't, like, your market just didn't have those, I would definitely spend some time watching that batch screen, and you'll see what I'm talking about, how fast they go when you get those good orders. Tip number 7 that I have for you guys is check the items before you accept a batch. Now, when you guys go look in the Instacart shopper app, you can, when you click on a batch, you can see what items they are requesting. Go through those really quick. Just give them a brief scan. For me, I like to avoid orders that have a lot of water crates. You know, those heavy items. I mean, if I'm feeling like feeling like getting some exercise, then I do that, but not normally. You know, if I don't have to, I'm not going to. I avoid there's this at Sprouts, like I was talking about earlier, they have these, I don't really know how to describe it, a bunch of like seeds and stuff, and they all look the same, and it takes you probably 15 minutes to find the exact seed that they're looking for, or at least me every time, I don't know. And I am familiar with that store, you know. I just try to avoid orders with a bunch of seeds in them, and that's just like some things that'll save you some time and save you some hassle on these orders. So my 8th and final tip for you guys is get approved for alcohol orders. Now if you guys go into the Instacart app, and you can go on the dashboard and it'll say get approved for alcohol orders. You have to do like a little online course thing. It takes like, I don't know how long, but they pay you for it, like $35 or something like that. And basically it approves you for alcohol orders. So what I like about alcohol orders is that the payouts are insane and the items are low. A buddy of mine sent me a screenshot. If he still has it, I'll have him send it again. And he did an order for like, it was like $40 for like 9 items. And those are just game changers, guys. If you're not on that, you definitely need to get on it. Alright guys, so those are my 8 tips for Instacart shop for beginners. If you guys did like this video, enjoy this video, learn something, hit that like button, helps me out a lot. And if you guys really did like this video, hit that big red subscribe button, as it does go a long way to help me grow this channel. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.